Huh?
Out there, post-practice speaker? Or
Yeah, me.
that was you?
That was me.
You just get done running the stairs?
No?
They always come in here like you're like,
Yeah, I walked up the ramp.
oh, is that? Oh.
Yeah, I'm not in great shape.
That's it?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
How'd practice go? What optimism do you see from your group trying to run the ball better?
Well, we're working hard. That's all I can tell you. We'll have to go play the game to see if we're making any strides there. But the kids are working hard.
On similar lines, you mentioned after the game you wanted to see a sense of urgency. Is there
There's
evidence of that?
There's a sense of urgency. They give us that. We got a young squad that's growing by leaps and bounds. You got to go play the game to see if we made any strides. It's fine in practice, but they're focused. They're working hard.
What's your message to your quarterback in his home debut?
Same as it was last week. You played a lot of football, one play at a time. Just keep learning and building. And that message to him isn't any different to the rest of the guys. I mean, O-line, we got one or two guys that have played in there a little bit, and I mean that's the same message we give those guys. Same message that we give any of our new receivers, DBs, all those things. I mean, it's not everybody wants to talk about that guy, and rightly so, but it's the same message to everybody.
How has Jake responded this week? Obviously, he was pretty fired up after the game.
I wouldn't know if we played a game or we didn't. That's just how he is. He's always the same. And I think that's one of the things that we like about him. He's very much about ball, very much about trying to get better. He does a great job with that. I mean, you wouldn't know. Everybody wants to make a big deal of the youth, and I think there's something to it just because he hasn't seen a ton of live reps, but you wouldn't know by his preparation.
Do you get a sense or a feel for anything different, Chris, now that he is kind of the starter and everyone knows it and he can get those reps and do all that kind of stuff?
That's a good question. I don't really feel that. I kind of feel like it's been business as usual. I mean, I think the other quarterbacks have been great. I think they're preparing, like they're the guys as well. And it kind of seems, that's one thing I do kind of like it. It just kind of seems like how it has been. So it's not like, some earth-shattering announcement. It's just like, hey, everybody's trying to take care of themselves rather than thinking, okay, our quarterback, he's got to make all the plays. We know our quarterback will make plays if everybody else gives him some time to throw the ball and the receivers run the proper routes and depths and those type of things.
What kind of a team is this Sacramento State squad coming in here?
Well, I mean, I think you look around the country, and I think the one thing that jumps out is everybody's got good coaches. I mean, with the one thing that internet and the technology that we live in, that type of world, everybody just has such good access. And so I think coaches are studying year-round. It doesn't matter what level you are. And so everybody's got pretty good coaches. I think that's the first thing. The second thing is I think that there's a lot of good football players out there. And, so they have some very good talent. And then it's about playing as a team. Then who can play the best as a team? And that's where we need to get. We need to play as a team and get some things going. And so I have no doubt. I know what Sac State's going to bring. They're going to bring tremendous focus, energy, effort. They're going to play well. They're going to play inspired. I mean, you can see it, what's gone on the first week or so. So, I mean, it's really clear what they're going to bring. What we need to do is we need to match all that.
To reinforce that, was it good that Portland State had success against Wazoo then, just to drum home that for your team?
I think we learn from everything, but it's every year. I mean, you just look at us last year playing. We had our hands full with,
Eastern.
a team out of their same conference. And I mean they have these aren't, this isn't lip service. They have good coaches, they have good players, they have good teams. They really do. And so again, I go back. It's never about the opponent. It's about us. It's just playing to the highest level that we're capable of playing. It really doesn't. I know sometimes that's a hard concept for everybody to get, but that's how we try to look at it.
Given the struggles in the run game against Boise, would you say it's going to be an early emphasis Saturday to establish the run?
I think it's going to be whatever we can do to move the ball. I mean, we didn't throw the ball very well. We didn't run the ball very well. So it's whatever we can do to score points.
Going back to even to last year, a couple of games, the bowl game specifically last week, the slow starts have been a trending issue for you guys. Are there ways you can address that? You feel better about that? Or?
No, I mean, last year's team's completely different. And, I mean, the comparisons you might make is we had a month off. We had 8 months off. And so it takes a while to get into a rhythm. The other thing is Boise has something to do with that. That's a good football team. I think you got to go play real reps, and hopefully we do start faster. But, You know, I think it's completely different than last year.
You practice in the morning, so an 11 o'clock kick at home should not be a big deal.
It shouldn't be a huge deal. We don't play many games at 11 a.m., so it's a little bit different, but we do get up early around here, so it's, you know, it's not an excuse for anything.
Your practice schedule going to change once school starts, or is this where you're going to be all year?
We'll be in the mornings. We'll bump it back a little bit. We'll be a little earlier, you know, because they don't have to run off to class right away. So it'll be a little bit different, but not much. The big thing's going to come the night before. Do they just get themselves in bed fast enough?
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting up kind of how we've done all year long.
Has your involvement with the game planning from Monday through Friday changed this year compared to maybe last year?
No, it hasn't. You know, everybody's got responsibilities and that they got to take care of, and I got a lot of those too. And there's some things that I'm involved with, but you know, everybody's got their job, and away we go.
I think there was a quiet confidence amongst the guys about this defense. Obviously, just a lot of names, guys that maybe the average fan didn't know a whole lot about. But did that kind of reinforce your thinking, what you saw from them in the second half Friday night? And you expect, obviously, to see more of that going forward?
I think we got some good players over there, I do. And it's going to be, you know, us growing and playing as a group together, not have any big assignment busts. You know, we had one of those in the game that could really could have hurt us. But I think if we continue to play with the effort and energy that we played and great communication, and we really get dialed into the calls that we have over and over, I think this can be a good defense. Staying healthy, I think, is going to be key. But I think we felt, good about those all along. But again, like I said, it was one game. There was a lot of hype, a lot of energy. You know, we got to see if we can be consistent and we can build on it.
Travis making the move to the Buck, how do you feel like he's done in that transition to a different role?
Yeah, and so, I think Travis is an outside linebacker, and that's really what that position is. So to me, I think he's a little bit more at home anyways. He played that last year. He just played more to the field. So it's not really that big a deal to what he's been doing. Now there's some different calls. Being in the boundaries a little different. If we pass rush him a little bit more, that's a little bit different. And I think he's growing in there.
What did you say about his skill set? Makes him versatile, be able to drop back in coverage, rush the passer. He can do a lot of different things.
He's an athletic guy that's got he's very long. I mean, he's one of those guys. If he gets his hands on you, it's hard to get into him to block him. And so he's got a unique skill set that he can really run. He's very, very fast, and he's long. And those two things are, things that we like to think we coach, but we don't. That has to do with more as mom and dad than us.
Chris, ultimately, what do you want to see out of the team Saturday where you've seen that they've cleaned up the mistakes that they made on Friday?
Yeah, I I'd like to see our defense play with the same energy and emotion. And, I thought those guys, for the most part, were pretty clean, but no glaring assignment errors, and be real physical. And then on offense, I'd just like to see us move the ball better and play more as a team and stay on the field a little bit longer than we certainly did against Boise, and, get a chance to get into some rhythm.
Anybody out who played last Friday?
Buddy out. I don't think at this point. Yeah.
And just to clean up with Benning, is he on a redshirt track?
Yeah,
right
well,
now?
there's still some guys who are kind of deciding, but I think at this point, that's what we're trying to do. I mean, I think you saw the guys that were, that we did play, and, those other guys that traveled that didn't play, we're still kind of deciding. And so, but, again, that's game one. We still got to get through some other games before we decide final things on everybody.
How about Deontay this week?
Questionable. We'll see.
Trevor Walker, is he guys going to be in rotation?
Yeah, Trevor, we're thinking is probably going to redshirt this year. He's got a redshirt year, and with some of the other guys that we have, so that'd probably be a plan that we're thinking that direction.
And Jamon Dotson?
He's available, ready to roll. Yeah.